and write the bill. Do you agree?
There's been plenty of time to negotiate, Senator Graham. There's been good faith negotiation on both sides. There's been shuttle diplomacy going on between both sides. There's been a lot of give and get. We're at a point now we need to vote. We should be voting tonight. And regarding that $10 billion that's in this bill, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how do we get out of this war?
How do you kill it?
How do we win this war?
How do you kill the virus?
And when you step back and think about the basics at the moment, the panic, the fear the American people have that we see is translating in this economy will not stop until the pandemic stops. The pandemic won't stop until these great drugs start. So here's what we're thinking about, and I want to give a reason for great hope and optimism around how we're going to get over this great hurdle that we face in our nation today. We have some amazing vaccines in development as we speak. In fact, they started a trial in Seattle a week ago Monday. They vaccinated 45 adults aged 18 to 55. They're getting initial results. They'll be looking at the safety as well as the efficacy. How well does it work over the course of several weeks? We have some other amazing miracle drugs. They're called monoclonal antibodies. That's the technical term for them. And what those do is when you take that drug, it provides protection against the coronavirus so you don't even get the COVID-19 disease. Here's the challenge, Senator Graham, is that we've got to be operating in parallel paths right now to make sure that we get those drugs available to the American people in a widespread fashion before the next flu season hits this fall. We're seeing reports right now from Singapore, Hong Kong. There's some reinfections going on. That should put us on notice that assuming our containment strategy works and that we bend this curve as we've talked, that we look more like South Korea than Italy, we pray and hope for that, and we're working to that end. The challenge will be we will not have enough immunity in our society coming up this fall. That leaves us vulnerable for a second wave of this virus. The solution, the way we win this war, is to start manufacturing some of these drugs earlier in parallel with the testing that's going on so that by the time the fall hits, we have it available for the American people. That's in this bill. And listen, every hour that goes by that we don't pass this bill is an hour lost in this fight. And as we see what's going on, if you look at the World Health Organization numbers, we're calculating on a daily basis, sometimes hourly basis. Every hour matters right now. Every day matters. And we've lost now this week. It's been incredible. It's 2 days. Lindsay, it's Wednesday tomorrow. It's time to vote. This chamber's empty. Senator Graham, let's get this chamber full of senators and let's have an up or down vote. Let's get it done.
We'll end where we began. The reason I'm here with Senator Daines is because I've been getting phone calls in the last several hours about wanting to add more money. And it's not that it's a bad idea as much as it is we need to get this bill done. It won't be the last time we get to address this problem. It rattles me to no end to know that people are still asking for billions of dollars at 8:30 at night or 8 o'clock at night. That tells me that we haven't sent the right signal that this is a good bill. It's time to write it. It's time to vote on it. It's time to end the negotiations. Mr. President, you've done a very good job today. That news conference with you and Dr. Fauci was the most encouraging I have seen. You're going to listen to good science. We're going to turn on the economy in a smart way, conditions-based. You've encouraged Congress. You were very nice to the Congress. The reason we're here tonight is that we're both upset that people are still talking about adding to the bill 48 hours after we were on the 5-yard line. So we may be on the 1-yard line, but apparently there are 20 people on defense. And we need to get the ball in the end zone. And I'm just begging my colleagues who have worked very hard. I'm not being critical as much as I'm being insistent that enough is enough. You have done a good job for the Democratic causes. We have done a good job for Republican causes. The cause is the country. If you're out of work, we're going to keep you on the payroll so you don't have to go on unemployment if your employer decides to go that route. If you're on unemployment, we're going to give you $600 more so you can actually survive better than you would be without this bill. If you're a nurse and a doctor and you're running out of supplies, this bill has a tremendous supply chain in it. So our message is simple. No more negotiations. It is over. Let's vote.
Senator Graham, thank you, and we'll conclude here. This is a moment in our history as a nation, truly, when we've got to come together. The American people are asking us to come together. Senator Graham, I thought for certain we'd have a vote today, and here we are, approaching 8:30 p.m., no sign of a vote. We're going to lose another day. While the unemployment claims are rising, people are getting sicker, there's help on the way with this historic package. It is time to forget who's a Republican and who's a Democrat. The question is, these are 100 Americans serving the U.S. Senate. It's time to rise above the current fracas and vote.
One last thing. Who's the gentleman that's thinking about laying people off the gentleman from Montana, that business?
Steve Lubeck.
Mr. Lubeck, I've never met you. Maybe one day I will. I enjoyed my visits to Montana. Give us 24 more hours. I'm hoping and praying that we can write the bill in the negotiations right now, write the bill, and vote on this thing, House and Senate, put it on the President's desk in the next 24 hours. Sir, if we can't, we have let you down and everybody else in the country like you. To my governor in South Carolina, you had to institute some very strong containment policies so we don't become New York. People in my state, there's 1,700 restaurants in Myrtle Beach, restaurants and bars. We're going into Easter in a few weeks, and that's when the season begins. Our Canadian friends would be coming down any day now. They want to go swimming in March. We're glad to have them. We don't like swimming in March because it's too cold for us, but the Canadians like it. It's a win-win. They're not coming. In those 1,700 restaurants and bars, in this bill, if we pass it, you can go to a credit union or bank. You can borrow money to pay your employees up to $80,000. You can borrow money to pay the rent, pay yourself as the owner, and we'll forgive it and make it a grant for 6 or 8 weeks. That would change everybody's life all over South Carolina. And it is time to change people's lives. It is time to stop negotiating. It is time to vote. I ask unanimous consent the Senate recess until 9:30.
Without objection. Senate stands in recess until 9:30 p.m.